Welcome to Friday's Fantasies on Saturday. Tonight's story is really good, The Traffic Stop. It was a warm end of summer day, and I was sitting in my patrol car just off the highway working on some paperwork while I had my radar running to catch anyone who might be speeding through the area while I was sitting there. I loved my job despite the hazards, but now and then there are some perks too. Today was going to be one of those days. As I finished up my paperwork, I realized I was feeling very edgy. I knew this edginess was probably due to my own sexual frustration. My ex-boyfriend and I had been broken up for the last 3 months. And I'd yet to find another man that I wanted to start another relationship with. I was definitely feeling very hot and very horny. My battery-powered toys were okay, but what I really wanted was a man between my legs, to feel him quivering inside me, frantically pounding deeper as my nails dig into him, pulling him closer. That's exactly what I needed. Well, I was wet, and I sat there thinking about it, telling myself that I should do something about it. Just to go out and find a man, use him, but I wasn't completely sure. I'd never had a one-night stand before. The radar beeping pulled me from my thoughts. I put my cruiser in drive and pulled out behind the 18-wheeler that was speeding 15 miles an hour over the limit. I flipped on my lights and proceeded to pull him over. He pulled off to the shoulder with me behind him, so the traffic could still get by. I went out and walked over to the passenger side and climbed into the rig, opening the door. Much to my surprise, the man behind the wheel was quite a hottie. His biceps bulged, standing out against his t-shirt. Even his thick calves looked ripped in his jean shorts. His eyes, a stormy gray, sparkled as he looked at me. I smiled at him. "License and registration, please." He handed them over and told me, "Yes, ma'am, officer. I know I was speeding a little bit back there, and I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to get this load done for the day." "Give me just a moment," I told him. I went back to my cruiser, and all of his paperwork checked out. Even the picture on his license was cute. This is definitely the kind of man I would love to get into bed, I thought to myself, as I made my way back. "Everything checks out fine," I told him, "but I'm still going to have to give you a ticket for the speeding back there." He began to ask if I could just let him go with a warning that he'd only been with his new job less than 6 months, and that he needed to keep his driving record clean. He was a really nice guy, so I decided why not and just let him off with a warning. In his excitement, he said thank you, and then reached out to cut my face, kissing me fiercely. With all my raging desire, I couldn't help but kiss him back, releasing some of my own pent-up passion. His hands reached out, pulling my shirt open, buttons flying across the cab. I pulled his shirt from over his head, splaying my hands on his chest, kissing him with my tongue sliding in his mouth. I was impressed by his strength when he lifted my hips like I weighed nothing at all, pulling me over to sit on top of him. His mouth worked its way down my neck to my breasts, where it ripped the middle of my bra, releasing my breasts, my nipples already hard before he even began sucking them into his mouth. My fingers secure in the back of his hair, I held his head to me, my hips helplessly and uncontrollably shifting and grinding against the thick bulge in his shorts. "Do you have a bed in this thing?" I asked. He lifted and shifted through the cab to the back, where he threw me down onto my back on the mattress. He unzipped his jeans, pulling them down, kicking them off, and then grabbed my pants and practically ripped them off me. He grabbed my hips, sinking deep into my wet heat. I could feel him throbbing within me, every heartbeat going deeper and faster. My legs wrapped around him, urging him on, enjoying each deliciously hard stroke of his cock, his mouth on mine, swallowing each moan. Yes, I yelled as the tip of his head rubbed along that special spot, driving me closer to the edge of what would be, no doubt, a mind-blowing orgasm. Wanting to make sure he came with me, I clamped down my inner muscles, squeezing him harder. Now, he yelled, his eyes locked on mine as both of us came together. I shook with tremors as we both collapsed, both of us breathing hard. Once my mind cleared, I got dressed. I kissed his cheek and told him to drive safely, and then went back to my cruiser. Well, I was definitely going to have a much better day myself. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time for a kinky adventure.